Hi, I'm Sahar,
And I'm Shreya. Welcome to our show, Only Spoilers.
where I tell Shreya about a book that I've read or a movie that I've watched. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about the movie The Best of Me. Are you going to watch it, Shreya?
Definitely not.
Then let me tell you all about it.
Okay. Okay, so as I was saying, I've never heard of this movie before.
Yeah.
I've heard Best of Me. No, Best of You. Is that a song? No, is that a movie?
Best of You?
Yeah.
I know You Before Me Before You.
I know that one.
I don't know Best of You.
Oh. I don't know Best of You. That sounds more like a movie. Best of Me just reminds me of a BTS song.
Oh, LOL.
So when you said that, I was like, what? But okay, anyways.
Okay.
Wait, what? Is it a romance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Romance with a twist.
With a twist?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not gonna hate it like you hate all romance. So.
The eye roll of okay, romance.
Yeah, that's why I picked it. I will not tell you a romance book or a story or anything like that.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
So this movie starts with there's this guy who works on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean, and then his rig explodes and like there was a gas leak, so it catches fire. So he's trying to save the other engineers that work with him. And while doing that, there was another explosion and he gets thrown off of the rig in the ocean in the middle of it and he drowns. But then before he loses consciousness, he sees this girl walking towards him through like bushes and stuff, and then he loses consciousness, and then he wakes up in the hospital, and the doctor tells him that you were in the water, in the cold water for 4 hours. How you're alive right now, I don't know. It's a miracle. You should be dead right now because you had no oxygen for 4 hours. So he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm grateful, but I've always felt like my whole life has been an accident. So maybe there's a purpose that I'm here for, right? And then the doctor asks him, do you have family? We can call somebody to get you out of here. He's like, no, I have no one. It's fine. I can go home on my own. And then he gets a phone call saying that, oh, this is the lawyer of your friend Tuck something. I forgot the last name. And he has passed away. So can you come to North Carolina for his will reading? And this person, his name is Dawson. So Dawson is like, yeah, for sure. Then we see
Tuck is his friend?
Yeah, he was his friend.
Oh, okay.
He was a 92-year-old man. He died in his sleep.
Oh, Tuck did?
Tuck died.
How old is Dawson?
Dawson is in his 30s, I want to say. Yeah. Then we see this woman who's sitting on her porch outside looking at the stars and like, just thinking about something. And then her son comes up to her and she's like, what are you doing, Mom? And she's like, oh, I'm just looking at the stars. And people in the old civilizations used to look up at the stars to figure out their whole destiny. It says that your whole destiny is written in the stars. And she's like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm just her son is about to go to college in the fall, so this is like his summer break and everything. And then the next day they have like a summer party or like a graduation party for her son. This woman's name is Amanda. And then she is talking to her husband, who's not really interested in talking. He just drinks all the time. And he's very dismissive of his son and what he wants to do in college too. His son is like, oh, I don't know what I want to do right now. It's just my freshman year. I don't care. But he's like, no, you have to do finance. Finance is the way to go, blah, 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 because he's also in finance. And Amanda is just like, let him be. Like, this is his summer before college, just let him enjoy. And he's like, you don't understand. And she just gets frustrated and goes inside the house. And then she gets the same phone call that, hi, I'm looking for Amanda Collier. She's like, no, my name is Amanda something else now. I'm married. Like, this is she. What's up? And the same lawyer tells her that your friend Tuck has passed away. And can you come to North Carolina for his will reading? So she also goes. And then we see Dawson. He goes to Tuck's house where he used to live, and he has a shed where he used to repair cars and stuff. He goes inside the shed. He's reminiscing of, oh, his photograph is here and everything. And then he hears another car come on the driveway, and it's Amanda. And these two haven't seen each other for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
So Dawson walks out of the shed, and Amanda is so surprised to see him. She's like, hi. And then he's like, hey, how's it? How are you? And she's like, I haven't seen you now. He's like, and she says, oh, it's been 20 years. He's like, 21, but who's counting? And then she's like, oh, okay. What are you doing here? And he's like, I got the call from the lawyer about Tuck. She's like, oh, so see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the lawyer's office. He's like, yeah. Then we see a flashback of them in the summer of 1992. It's like August 1992. It's their high school senior year. So Dawson has a cousin brother who like they're sitting at a restaurant. They're just waiting for food, and then he sees Amanda also somewhere around the restaurant, and like she's laughing, having fun with her friends, and like they don't know each other yet. And then Dawson's cousin's girlfriend is pregnant, so they are talking and everything. And then they leave the restaurant, and April, the pregnant girl, she's driving, but her car breaks down in the middle of the road, and like everybody else starts honking. Like Amanda and three of her guy friends are in a car, and they're just honking. It's like, oh, what's going on? I mean, they don't understand that. I mean, they do understand that there's a car broken down, but they're just being dicks.
Mhm.
So Dawson gets out of his car, helps helps April get her car off the road so he can fix it. And then Amanda gets out of her car with her friends and also tries to push and tries to talk to Dawson. And he doesn't pay her any attention. He's like, oh, I got it. Like, it's fine. You can go back to your friends. And they're just making fun and everything. Then the next day at school, Dawson is just walking past the parking lot, and he sees Amanda standing in front of her car's hood, and she's just like all flustered and like, oh my God, what am I going to do and stuff. So her car has broken down because she's like, oh, I turned the key and nothing happens. He's like, oh, your battery is disconnected. So he connects it. And then clearly she's interested in him, right? She wants him to ask her out, or at least look her in the eye and talk to her, but he's shy, or like he knows that she's out of my league. She's a rich girl. I'm from the wrong side of the track, so this is nothing is gonna happen. So he tries to avoid her, and she's like, what do I have to do for you to ask me out? And he's like, I don't know how to do this. And she's like, it's okay, you have time to learn. Meet me at this restaurant on Saturday. And he's like, okay. So he goes back home. And so Dawson's dad is the town drug dealer. And he has two older brothers too. So they're all into, supplying and making drugs, guns, and all that. Even shady business. Yeah, the two older brothers. He's the only one who wants to study and get out of this town and like leave this life behind. So he goes home, and his dad is like, where have you been? It's time you drop studying and stuff and help with the family business. And he's trying to avoid a fight because his dad is just, ready to throw hands. And Dawson is like, I had school, I have homework, and he's like, oh, you think so? Dawson's dad says, oh, you think you're too good to be a part of this family. You're trash like us. Don't think you're too good. And then they have a fight, and then Dawson gets punched in the face by his dad, and he runs away from home because he's like, I can't take this shit anymore. And then he
punches his dad.
Dawson's dad punches him.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't punch him back because he was going to get shot otherwise. So he just runs away. And then it starts raining. So he wants to find a shelter. It's dark now. So he ends up in a shed. It turns out to be Tuck's shed. So he breaks into it, like sleeps in one of the cars, and then the next morning Tuck comes to the shed and he's like, who are you? Like points a gun at him, like, who are you? What are you doing here? You're either the worst thief in the world or you have a story to tell. And he has a black eye. So Dawson is like, oh, I don't mean any trouble. I was just looking for a place to stay. And then Tuck is an old man. So he's like, it's fine. I understand. You can just stay here. he gives him a bed in the shed, and he's like, you want to do something, you can help me fix the cars. So Dawson starts living with Tuck. And then he doesn't show up to the date on Saturday because he has a black eye. He doesn't want to go anywhere. Amanda waits and waits and waits.
No, he doesn't even tell her?
No.
Why?
Because again, right? He's like, she's way out of my league. Why would she pay me attention? I don't want to tell everybody what my business is, or like my family is so trash. So he doesn't show up to the date. She gets angry. She goes up to Dawson's cousin and asks him, where is he? So he tells her. And then she drives up to Tuck's house and she's like, you didn't even have the decency to tell me no, like what's going on. He's like, you have to leave. I don't want to see you, blah, blah, blah. And then she sees the black eye. And she's like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, what will I tell you? Like, this is my life. Everybody knows. You should not be associating with me. You're going to put your own life in danger. My family is dangerous. She's like, I don't care. All I wanted was like a sweet date and get to know you. If it works, it works. Otherwise, we can go our separate ways. And then he's like, I just don't want to go in public. She's like, okay, then take me somewhere private. So their town has like a water tank, a really tall water tank. So he likes to sit on it. So they go up there and they get to know each other. They talk. And she's like, oh, he asks Amanda, what do you want to do in the future? And she's like, oh, I'm going to go to Tulane. I'm going to study child psychology and I'm going to work with, helping children out. That's her whole dream. And she wants to have kids, get married. If she has a daughter, she wants to name her B. She has her whole life planned out. And she asks Dawson, what do you want to do? He's like, I don't know. She's like, are you not going to go to college? He's like, no, not everybody wants to go to college. And she's like, but you should, because I know you're smart. He's like, because they were talking, and then he tells her that he made his own telescope. He likes looking at the stars, and everything's like, oh, old civilizations used to see their destiny in the stars. The same thing that the present Amanda says, she got it from the younger Dawson.
Oh.
So she's like, you should definitely go to college. And then she asks him, I know that you were gone for a while, like you didn't come to school for a year. What happened there? And he says that my dad made me quit school because he wanted me to join the family business, but I had to fight to come back. So he has no plans of going to college, but she encourages him, right? And then they like each other and they decide to start dating. Then we see the present Amanda.
I forgot that they're like
teenagers.
I forgot that we're in the present.
Oh.
And then it's still them, but like in the past. For some reason, like it like didn't click.
Oh.
But okay. That's their history.
That's their history. Yeah, that's how they met.
Okay.
20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So now in the present, the older Amanda and Dawson are sitting in the lawyer's office, and the lawyer reads Tuck's will to them, and he says that whatever possessions I have at my house are yours. You guys can separate them among yourselves and you can take it. All my property and assets are gonna get liquidated and get donated to American Society of Pediatric Cancer. And then he also has a cottage somewhere called Vandermeer. And he's like, that I'm leaving to Dawson and Amanda jointly. Like, I want both of you to have that cottage. And then they are surprised, like
we're not even together.
We're not even together. We haven't even seen each other in 20 years. Like, and then, but the lawyer is like, if one of you want to keep it, you can buy it from the other. So they're like, okay, we'll decide that later. And then he's like, he doesn't want any funeral, no flowers, no nothing. And then Tuck wrote them both a letter.
Oh no.
And then he's like, you can read it later separately.
Oh.
So Dawson and Amanda, they decide that, they're going to go to the house separately to pack up whatever they need from it. So, and then the rest of the stuff the lawyer can deal with. And then Dawson is trying to ask Amanda, so how have you been? How is your life? And she's like, oh, I've been married for 18 years. I have 2 kids. And then he asks her, are you happy? And she's like, it's none of your business. We're not friends anymore. So let's just, deal with this and go our separate ways. I'm going to go to the house tomorrow. You can go the next day so we don't have to cross paths. We can spread his ashes at the Vandermeer cottage together 2 days later, and then tata bye-bye. So he's surprised.
If the answer is not a yes, then it's a solid no. Oh my god.
Yeah. So she goes away. And then Amanda reads Tuck's letter, and she's crying because they stayed friends after all throughout these years. And Tuck's letter to Amanda says that I want you. I hope Dawson also showed up. Now that I'm dead, he also showed up to the reading because I want you guys to meet and talk and get over what happened 20 years ago, because you both have wounds that you need to heal from. And then
he didn't want to do this when he was alive?
No.
Okay.
I don't know why. I mean, old people, they work in mysterious ways.
Dramatic. Okay.
So maybe he tried. We don't know, right?
Yeah.
This was his short way that they are going to be together because they were the two most important people in Tuck's life, and vice versa. So then we see the past again. They're dating, they're really happy together, they're spending time with each other. And then one day when Amanda and Dawson are at Tuck's house, like in the shed, Dawson's dad and his brother show up to the house. And then he gets really scared and he sends Amanda away. He's like, leave, you have to immediately leave. She's like, okay, fine. Like, she starts trying to turn her car on and it won't. And she's like, and he's screaming at her, like, go, go, go. She's like, okay, fine, I am leaving. So she runs away or drives away really fast. And but his dad and the brothers, they recognize who she is. And they're like, oh, what are you doing with that girl? Like,
Oh my God, is this going to turn into like them being like, you should get money from her and stuff?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Oh my God. I was
no, because Dawson is a good guy.
Okay, I thought he was gonna be like in a fix where his dad was like, you can only stay in this. Oh, I see that you have a rich girlfriend, so maybe you should go and steal something from her. And then I thought that was the
reason he ran away is because he doesn't want anything to do with his dad. So now his dad is back here to take him away. Like, enough of your drama, come home.
Okay.
And then he starts threatening him, and then Tuck comes out with a gun and starts shooting. He's like, what? Don't you dare touch him, because again, Dawson's dad is throwing hands. He punches.
Wait, Tuck is the cousin or
the old guy?
The old guy. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So that's where Dawson is living. He's living with Tuck.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah. My bad.
So it's a lot of names, a lot of back and forth.
Okay.
So Tuck threatens Dawson's dad that, stay away from him. If you come back and beat him up again, I'm going to shoot you. And then Dawson's dad doesn't back out. He's like, stay out of this. This is none of your business. He's my son. I'm going to take him. And then he shoots up his truck, like a bullet in his windshield, a bullet in his headlights and stuff. And he's like, do you want me to keep going? Because that's going to cost you thousands of dollars. And Dawson's dad is like, fine, whatever. And he leaves. And then Dawson is like, you shouldn't have done that, Tuck. Like, they're going to come back and kill you. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to protect you. And then he finally gives him a room in the house. Right until then, now Dawson was sleeping in the shed. Mm-hmm. But after this, Tuck is like, okay, fine, you're not safe here. Just come and live in the house with me.
Wow.
Because he's an old, grumpy man who doesn't trust anyone. Yeah. So, yeah, that happens. And then, we go back in the past. Oh, no, we come back to the present, where Dawson goes to a convenience store to get like supplies for packing things at Tuck's house. And then he sees this young boy who looks a lot like his cousin. And then he walks up to him and he's like, and he's buying supplies to make drugs. Like, he can see it. And he's like, you should stay away from that stuff and everything. And he's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's none of your business. Why are you talking to me? And he's like, has anyone told you look like your dad? He's like, yeah, everybody tells me I look like my dad. He's like, oh, I knew him. And he's like, how did you know him? Like, who are you? And then Dawson's dad and his brothers come into the store. It's like, oh, the prodigal son returns, 20 years. We haven't seen you. How are you? Like, blah, 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 blah. Turns out they have taken this young boy who looks like Dawson's cousin under their wing. So they're like, stay away from him.
Oh my god.
So, and then Dawson leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, he doesn't want to engage with his dad anymore.
Yeah.
So he goes to Tuck's house to pack up his stuff, things and everything. And then Amanda is also there. So, but she doesn't want to talk to him. And he's like, oh, I thought you were going to come tomorrow. She's like, oh, I just thought you would need some help. So they're packing Tuck's stuff and everything. And again, Dawson tries to talk to her. She doesn't want to because she's mad or whatever at him. And then she's like, oh, I can go upstairs and I don't need a lot of stuff. Whatever I have, I'll take. Rest of it you can deal with. I'm going to go upstairs and start packing. And then he finds a photograph of Amanda, Tuck, and then a little girl in the photo frame. And he hands it to her and then says, you guys look really happy. And then Amanda gets really sad and walks away.
Who's the little girl?
Her daughter.
Oh, okay.
Amanda's daughter.
Okay.
But then we just think, like, because Tuck is dead, she's sad. Then what else happens? Okay, then we go back to the past, the summer of 1992. Now that they've been dating for a while, Amanda also hangs out with Tuck because Dawson lives there. So she's trying to get him to fill out his college applications, Dawson's college applications, and he's like, I can't do it because they need a home address, and then I can't send it to my actual home address, and I don't want to ask Tuck, I don't want to invade his privacy. She's like, I'll ask him. So she runs up to Tuck's like, hey, how's it going? First question, do you have an onion? He's like, oh, I think so. And then she's like, okay, so do you mind if Dawson uses your address on his college application? He's like, I don't care. And then Amanda's like, problem solved.
Oh.
And then she, makes him do his applications and everything. And then that night when they're eating dinner.
She asked, do you have an onion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just
as an icebreaker.
Okay.
So then that night during dinner, Amanda and Dawson are just, just reminiscing or like just arguing about something. Like she's saying it is fate that we met because two cars breaking down simultaneously led us to each other. It has to be fate. And Dawson is like, I don't believe in all of that. That's just, fate doesn't exist and all of that. And then they turn to Tux, like, you tell us, like, if you believe in fate or not. He's like, I don't know if fate exists or not. But then he tells his story, like how he believes in it. His wife died 4 years ago of a stroke, but he still loves her. He still thinks that they're married because, like, till death do us part and everything. So he says that when he was in the world, he was a soldier in World War II, and he gets injured, and he broke his back, and he was just floating in the water, and then he's like, this calm came over me, and he just started singing this song. And then it just made him realize that, I'm not going to die. I'm going to go home and see my wife again. Oh. And then a few years after that, like, he comes home from the war, he's back with his wife and everything. After they built their cottage in Vandermeer, she's gardening and singing the same song he was singing in the war. And he's just stunned, like his face is just like he's seen a ghost. And his wife is like, what happened? Like, and then he says, like, how do you know that song? And then she says, like, right about the time that he was dying, she was in the US and she had a dream that he was singing that song to her. That's why she knows that song.
Oh, I got chills. Oh my gosh. That's so sweet.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't know what that is, love, fate, destiny, but that's the only thing I believe in. And then Amanda and Dawson are both like,
bawling.
Yeah.
Aww.
And then we come back to the present, and then Amanda walks into the room with the photo frame, and then she tells Dawson that I need to talk to you. So then she tells him that she went to Tulane, like, as it was her plan, right? She wanted to go to college and get a degree. So she goes, she tells him, like, I'll tell you what my life story is. So she says, I went to Tulane, I met this really nice guy, and then sophomore year I got pregnant, and then I got married and dropped out of college. And then, like, her first born is the son that, we met in the beginning of the movie. Tuck. Oh, no, not Tuck. Jeremy. His name is Jeremy.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was like,
My bad.
Reincarnation? What? That was not as exciting. No, okay. Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy. And then she says, then 4 years later, I had a daughter. And then the photo that Dawson finds is a few days before she turned 2, and that was it was just a normal day. It was nothing, special. She just brought her to meet Tuck, and they had a nice picnic outside, and they leave. And then a few days after her second birthday, she gets diagnosed with leukemia, and then she dies. That's why Tuck, donated all his money to the Pediatric Cancer Society.
Oh my god.
Because Amanda lost her daughter to cancer. And then Dawson is like, I'm so sorry. I mean, what was her name though? And she's like, oh, I named her B. B. Just the way she decided that she's going to name her.
Aww. That's so sweet.
Yeah. And then they're making dinner and stuff, and then Dawson is talking about himself. He's like, oh, I work at this rig, and I was in an accident. She's like, that was your rig? Because it was all over the news that an oil rig blew up. He's like, yeah, I saved a bunch of people. I don't know how I survived. It was a miracle and everything. And then he's like, I'm thinking of going to school, get a degree in computers. I'm really good at it, but I don't know. And then she's like, no, you should. He's like, yeah, my supervisor was also telling me that, just go get a degree, but he doesn't believe in it. Like, he's like, it doesn't matter. And she's like, it's just a piece of paper. Just get it. Like, she's again pushing him like she was 20 years ago. Like, just go get the degree. You are smart. You can do it. And he doesn't want to. And then she's just looking at him like, he's really hot, right? Now that he has like salt and pepper hair, and like he's tan and buff and everything, and she's just mesmerized by this man who she knew 20 years ago. And then she's like, oh, you finally know how to cook, because he didn't know how to even chop an onion when they were young. So he's like, it's been 21 years, Amanda, come on, like I've learned a few things and all of that. And then while eating dinner, she asks him, so are you seeing someone? Like, how's your life? He's like, no, I'm single. I've had relationships, but nothing right now. And then she asks him, have you been in love? He's like, yeah, with you. And then she's stunned. And she's
why
like,
do they do this? Oh my god. Oh, okay.
And she's like, that's nonsense. Like, shut the fuck up. You can't be serious. He's like, yeah, like, I never fell in love with anyone else. You set the bar too high for me. And she just walks away annoyed. She's like, why couldn't you have gone bald or grown a belly? Why did you have to turn hot after 20 years? She's so, that's like, she's
like,
so
now
annoyed.
I have to divorce my husband. Now I have to think like, oh, I should have signed a prenup. Like, all these things.
Yeah.
Damn.
So then they decide, okay, next, like tomorrow, we're going to go to Vandermeer to spread Tuck's ashes. So they decide that, and then they go their separate ways. In the past, now again, now that they're teenagers, Dawson has to go to the cottage in Vandermeer because Tuck hurt his back and he has a weed problem in his garden. So he's like, I'm going to go help him, maintain his garden and everything. And he was supposed to spend that weekend with Amanda, but he couldn't. So he just goes to the cottage, does all the housekeeping and everything. And then Amanda drives up to surprise him, like, oh, hey, I just wanted to spend this weekend with you and all of that. And they have they have sex for the first time. They're teenagers.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Okay,
this is the past again. This is the past again. So she's looking at these scars that he has on his arms and his chest, and then she asks him, like, how do you get these? And then she points out to each one of them. He's like, oh, this is for disrespecting, this one is for talking back, this one is for not answering, and then this one I
Jesus.
don't even remember.
Yikes.
Yeah, because his father was abusive, right?
Yeah.
And then Amanda's like, I'm so sorry and everything. She starts crying for him. He's like, it's okay. These are just scars. It doesn't hurt anymore. And then she's like, you're such a good man. I really, really love you. And I I hope we get to spend a good future together and all of that. They have a really good summer. And then Dawson attends the Easter party at Amanda's house. Amanda is really rich, just a reminder. So he goes to the Easter celebration, and then Amanda's dad, talks to Dawson, and then.
It's so
Do you
sweet.
need a break?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Then Amanda's dad is like, oh, let's grab a drink, let's go talk. And then her dad tries to buy him off. It's like,
What?
I'll
Like,
pay
leave my
you.
daughter
Yeah, I'll
alone?
pay you this much money. Leave my daughter alone. He's like, you can't buy my love. I love your daughter. He's like, you don't love her. You are teenagers. You don't know anything. You're gonna ruin her future. Because Amanda's dad also know about Dawson's dad, right? Like, they're not good people and everything. And he's scared. He wants to protect his daughter, but Dawson is like, I am leaving right now, and how dare you disrespect your daughter like that? And he goes, he leaves. And then in the present day, the older versions of Amanda and Dawson go to the cottage in Vandermeer as well. They spread Tuck's ashes in the garden. They, say a final goodbye to him and everything. And then
is his wife buried there?
She, I think so. She don't mention about his wife, like where she's buried or where her ashes are. So we don't know about the wife because she's been dead more than 20 years.
Yeah.
So then Dawson and Amanda spend that day at the cottage, and he's trying to, coax out a reaction from her because he can see that she's unhappy in her current life. But then she also says that it's not your business anymore. Like, I've moved on and everything. It's just because you're back now, I can't just leave my whole life and be with you and all of that. And she gets really annoyed and she goes away. And then and then she also says, like, what you did to me, what happened 20 years ago, I cannot forgive you for that. Like, you like, I still have those scars, and I need time to forgive you for that. And we don't know what happened, and she's just really angry at him.
Yeah, I'm like, did I miss something?
No, we don't know yet.
Okay.
Then again, we're going back to the past now to find out what happened. So it's their prom. They're all getting ready. So Dawson, his cousin, and his pregnant girlfriend, April, they're all getting ready at Tuck's house because April is going to drive them to the school. So they're all taking pictures, and Tuck made a corsage for Amanda. It's like, here, you need this and all of that. They're very happy and everything. And then they drive away. Then Dawson's dad and brothers come to Tuck's house to beat the shit out of him. It's like, you destroyed our truck. You think you're too much. They push him off of the porch. He hits his head, and then he beat him up. And he had a small patch of tulip garden that his wife planted that he was taking care of. They uproot the whole flower bed and everything. And then Dawson realizes that he left the corsage at Tuck's house. So they turn around and come back, and then they see Tuck bleeding on the ground, like beaten up and everything. And Dawson loses his shit. He's like, I'm going to kill my father.
Yes.
He takes the gun.
A gun.
He takes a gun, and he gets in the truck and he starts driving. But his cousin also gets in the truck with him. But Dawson wanted him to stay with Tuck and take care of him. He's like, don't, like, get down. Don't get involved in this. This is going to get messy. And then he's like, no, calm down. And he just leaves April with Tuck. Like, you take care of this. I'm going to calm him down. And April is like 6-7 months pregnant. She can't even run behind them. So Dawson drives to his dad's house, and then he's all huffed up and angry, and then his dad also already knew that something was going to happen, so he was ready. He's like, oh, what happened? Did your old friend fall off? Like, oh my god, that's so sad. It was bound to happen. He's an old man, he's this and this. He's mocking Dawson, and Dawson starts hitting his father. He's like, you destroyed my life, you don't you dare come near my friends or the people I love, and this and this. And then he points the gun at his father to try to shoot him. And then his cousin tries to stop him. And then they have a fight, like Dawson and his father. And then his cousin gets in the middle of it and he gets shot in the head.
I knew it. God. How old is the cousin? Their age, right?
Their age. He is about to have a child with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, and it was not like any other wound, right? It's not a chest wound. It's
a headshot.
Headshot in the middle of his temple. And then, and the gun was in like Dawson's hand.
Oh.
So
why did he got in the middle?
He tried to save him.
Save who?
Stop Dawson from shooting his father. Oh. Yeah.
Child, because
he's like, you have a bright future, you're gonna get out of here, leave him, it's okay, fine, just punch him a bunch of times and we should go, because you need to get out of this town, have a good life and everything. But then this happens, and then obviously the cops get called, all of them get arrested, and then Tuck is fine. He just has a
bruise,
a cut on his head. Okay. He was bleeding a lot. And then Dawson is he's a wreck. And poor Amanda is waiting on her porch to get picked up for prom in her dress. And she doesn't even know what happened, like the whole shit that went down. So Dawson is just all destroyed. He's like, I killed him. I deserve to be in prison. Like, this is all my fault. I shouldn't have lost my temper. I should have made him get out of the car. Like, he's blaming himself. And Tuck is like, it is not your fault. If you tell them what actually happened, they will understand and give you a lower sentence. Like, right now you're being charged with like first-degree murder, but it was a mistake. Like, you didn't shoot him on purpose. Tell him everything, or like, sell your dad and brothers out to the cops, like make a bargain, do something. So he at least listens to that. So, he gets a lesser sentence, because I think it's 20 years for manslaughter, but I think he is going to prison for like 6 to 8 years. But he sends his brother and dad also to prison. It's like, oh, I'm going to point out all the illegal activities, the drugs and the guns and everything that was happening. So he does that, but he still goes to prison. And then Amanda comes to meet him, and then she's like, how are you? Like, I'm going to send you some books and everything, and don't worry, I'll ask my dad to get the best lawyers, and we're going to get you out of here, and I still love you. I know what happened. Please just, just talk to me, stay with me. And he's like, stop visiting me. And she's like, what? No, I won't.
Goodbye. This is when I would turn off the TV. I'd be like, you're being so stupid right now.
Yeah, and he's like, you can't waste your life on me, Amanda.
I knew you were going to say that. This man.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to prison for 8 years. You have dreams. You deserve a better life.
Better.
Yeah. And he leaves, but she still comes to the prison every single day for a year to see him, but he never shows up. And then she stops coming because, she goes off to college and everything. And now the present Amanda is crying and hating him. She's like, I needed you when my daughter died, because you are my best friend. I wish it was you all along. I'm not happy with my marriage, because after B died, we both started drinking, but I stopped and my husband never did.
I forgot that he's a drunk.
He's drunk, and like he ignores her, and like she's loved him her whole life, and like, she's like, you were the best for me. Like, it wasn't your choice to decide what was best for me. I needed you when you left me. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I mean, I did what I had to and everything. And then and then he's trying to convince her to, stay with him. Like, this is our chance. Let's just, you're clearly unhappy in your marriage. Leave your husband, be with me. I'm here now. And she's like, no, I have responsibilities. I still have a son and everything. And she gets a phone call from her son saying that, oh, can I go to a party and this and this, and he's like, when are you coming back? And she's like, oh, maybe tonight I'll be back. And he's like, oh, I'm going to this party with my friends. She's like, are you sure there's gonna be an adult, at least a sober person who can drive you guys? Please don't drink and drive. And he's like, yeah, everything. And then Dawson decides to stay for a few more weeks at the cottage to sort everything out. And Amanda is like, I'm glad that we got to meet and, sort out our everything, but I have to go back to my life because I have a child to take care of. So she leaves. She goes back to her life. And then her husband is again like, oh, also when she was leaving, when she got a phone call for about Tuck's death, she's packing her bags, right? And her husband is like, do you really have to go? Like, we have such a busy week. I have this dinner and this and this. Like, and then Amanda is like, next time a loved one dies, I'll check with your secretary. Because he was being a total ass. He was trying to stop her from going for her, such a dear person's funeral.
Yeah.
And then he gives her a look and she's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, what the fuck are you apologizing for? But then when she comes back, she realizes that, her husband is the same. He pours a huge glass of wine before dinner and like, she's about to say cheers and start drinking or like eating. He gets a phone call and he gets up and leaves. Like he starts talking and then he's like, oh, you carry on, you continue. Like, the fuck? She just got back. You didn't even ask her how the funeral was, like how she is doing. Nothing. So that's when she decides, like, it's over. Like, Dawson is right. I am not happy with this. I've got a second chance at a happiness. I'm going to take it. So she decides she's going to leave her husband. And then he talks to, and then she tells him, like, this is not working out. So I want a divorce. And he gets mad. He's like, this is not just your choice, this is our life, this is my decision too. And then he's like, we can talk about this later. I'm running 20 minutes late for my golf game. My buddies are waiting for me. So, and she's like, this is about us. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? This is why I am leaving you, because you're not in this anymore. You drink too much, you ignore me, so fuck off. And he drives away. And then that evening, she gets a call
that he got into an accident.
That her son got into an accident. So she runs to the hospital. She's like, oh my God, how is he? The doctor comes out. And then, are you crying?
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm disappointed. He wasn't driving, right?
He wasn't. Or I don't know. I think he was, because he was the sober one. Or he wasn't. I don't know. Somehow he gets into an accident. And the blunt force trauma of it damages his heart. So he needs a heart transplant.
Oh my God.
And then she's been trying to call her husband, but the stupid man is nowhere to be found.
He's doing putt-putt somewhere. Sorry. It's a serious situation. I don't know anything about golf.
But then he comes running. He's like, oh, I'm here. He's drunk. And she's like, where the hell have you been? I've been trying to call you. And then he starts asking all these questions. But Amanda's like, shut the fuck up. The doctor is talking. She'll answer all your questions. Just keep quiet. So the doctor is like, yeah, he's gravely injured and we need... we've put him on a transplant list, but let's see what happens. And they're all both, I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then... I think an hour or few later, she comes back and they're wheeling him off to surgery, and they're like, oh, we found a heart. So they take him, her son, to surgery, and he's all fine. And then a couple of days later, Amanda's mom, she drives up from North Carolina to see her, and she's like, oh, hi. Oh, and then no. So Amanda wakes up in her bed 2 days later, and then she sees Dawson sitting on her bed, and she's like, what are you doing here? And then she tries to go to him, and then she wakes up. So she has a dream about him, and then it makes her really happy, right? Like, as soon as my son gets out of the hospital, I'm going to go see Dawson and everything. And then she hears she hears a knock at her door, and she opens it, and her mom is in town. And she's like, oh, hi, you're here. Like, let me just freshen up. We'll go visit Jeremy in the hospital. And she's like, I just saw him. He's fine. You need to sit. I need to tell you something. And then her mother tells Amanda that Dawson is dead.
What?
Yeah. So what happened was the night that Amanda leaves North Carolina, Dawson was driving home, but then he gets attacked by his dad and his brothers as a revenge for rescuing his nephew. So the the young teenager he saw at the store that looked like his cousin
Yeah.
was actually his nephew.
Oh.
So and then he realizes that he's also gotten into the business of drugs and stuff with his dad. So he saves him from them and sends her back to his mom, like April, and she's very thankful. Like, I'm so glad you were here, and like, thank you, didn't have to, but thank you for sending all this. So he was sending them money every month to support them because he feels guilty for taking away this unborn child's father, right?
Oh, I can't believe that his son also got into like the drug business.
Yeah, because they took him under his wing because he was like, a lost child, father nahi hai, and all of that. Then so Dawson goes in and rescues him from his father and brothers, but then because Dawson had sent them to prison, destroyed their business and everything, they're vengeful. And then Dawson's dad, he shoots him in the chest and he dies. So Amanda is destroyed. She's like, I was gonna, take the second chance in life for happiness, and I was gonna spend it with the love of my life, and now he's gone.
Oh my
And
God.
she's destroyed, but at least her son is alive and everything. So she leaves her husband. Her son is alive and well. He goes to college and everything, and she has started working again. So she's working as a paralegal at a law firm to help children. And then she gets a call from her son and she's like, oh, hi, what's going on? Like, this is the third time you've called me in the past 2 days. Like, are you okay? Are you missing me too much? And he's like, oh, no, I just wanted to tell you that when I got my heart transplant, I had asked the doctor, like, if I can find out who I got my heart from. And then she said I could out an application. I would have to wait a year. So I just got the results today. Let me read it out to you. And then he says, oh, it was a 39-year-old man. He was from St. Olivia, North Carolina. I think you knew him. His name was Dawson Cole. And Amanda is shocked. She is shocked. So Dawson died a year ago and his heart went to Amanda's son.
Oh my God. When did she find out that he died? Literally that morning, right? When?
Yeah,
like 2 days after.
A couple of days ago. A couple of days after the fact. So she's like, and then she goes to Vandermeer to visit the cottage because now she's the only one who owns it and is responsible for the upkeep. So, and then she finds a letter addressed to her and she reads it. And it's a letter from Dawson to her. Like, I was so happy that we got to, heal our wounds. And I'm sorry that I pressurized you to leave your husband. I totally understand your decision if you want to go back to him. But know that I will always be here. I will always be there for you. I still love you. And whatever you do, I'm going to support you. And all my life, I felt like an accident and I didn't know what my purpose was. But I think my purpose was to, be there for you.
That's so sweet. Not the tears again.
It is. I mean, I've watched this movie so many times, but every time I watch it, I cry.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's so
it is
sad.
That this is the power of Nicholas Spark. Honestly, every book he writes, he's known for writing romance, but all his books end in tragedy.
Yeah. This is so upsetting.
I told you. There's a twist.
Something I said more. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Wait, what was in the letters that they got from him?
Oh, so in Amanda's letter, it was like, you need to talk to Dawson and
Tell him how you
heal your wounds. And in Dawson's letter was also something similar to it. Like, tell her the truth. I know you thought what you did was right, but you hurt her a lot, so you need to apologize and tell her that whatever happened, what your reasoning was behind that decision, because she still loves you. Because Tuck and Amanda stayed in touch, right? For all those years, she would visit him and everything. So this was Tuck's way of bringing them back together. Like they found love again in somebody's death.
That's so tragic that he had to die.
Yeah, he was 92 years old. He died in his sleep. But Dawson. Oh, yeah. Dawson's death destroyed me. It destroyed me. I was like, no fucking way. No way this movie ends like this.
He should have shot his dad.
Yeah.
Then things would have been different.
Yeah. I love Nicholas Spark, but I also hate him for doing things like this.
Yes, a lot of tragedy.
A Walk to Remember, The Last Walk, A Walk to Remember, and then The Notebook. All these books. All these movies.
Watched any of them.
Destroyed me.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Plus they're marketed as romance, right? You wouldn't read romance, but they're not romance. They're tragic. Tragic love stories. That's what you should call them. Tragic love stories.
Tragedies.
Yeah.
This was really sad, honestly. Yeah, that was really sad. I really thought they were gonna end up together. That poor Amanda, bro.
Seriously, like, I my heart hurts for Amanda.
Like, she wakes up and she's like, oh my god, my son's doing better, and I can like be with the love of my life, and like my drunk husband, fuck him.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And she's ready, and then she sees her mom and she's about to tell her, like, oh my god, I'm in love with him. I reconnected Dawson, and then she's like, Dawson's dead.
Yeah. That's why she saw him in her dream.
Oh. That's so sad.
So when Dawson was on the verge of death, he sees the younger Amanda. Then when they reconnect and he's actually dying from the gunshot wound, he also sees, like, then he sees her again, but the present version of her.
Oh, I got chills. That's so... I hate that. I mean, I love it, but like, I hate it.
Yeah. And then Amanda's dream was like the last time, like that was his like spirit coming to say bye to her before he left.
God. I thought there was going to be a song or something, just like how...
Like in Bollywood?
No. Like the old man had with his wife.
Oh, they do have a song, but like the teenage ones have a song, but it doesn't. I don't think it ever comes back in the movie. Like that.
I thought like on the verge of death, then there's like a song playing, and then she wakes up.
You know, that's what I thought when I watched the movie for the first time. Like, oh, he is shot. He's not gonna be dead. He can't be. So maybe he's gonna he's gonna listen to that song and he's gonna get saved again. But
it's Ariel from Little Mermaid.
But I guess you don't come back from death twice.
Yeah, that's true.
So
shit.
Yeah.
I get okay. Well, I guess that's the end, right? No
special.
End.
Yeah, no, nothing.
When did this come out? Like
2014.
Oh, okay. Who's the actors and like whatever?
Oh, here. Let me. I'm sure you know them.
I don't have that much faith in myself.
That's true. Here, okay, The Best of Me.
I'd be like, oh, this guy, he was in this musical.
Do you know James Marsden?
No, let me see the picture.
Here.
No. Oh.
Have you seen Enchanted?
Yeah.
The Disney movie? He was the prince in that.
Oh, I don't remember from that. Oh, he's in Dead to Me.
Yes. He's in Dead to Me.
Yes.
That's James Marsden.
Oh my god.
He's the older version of Dawson.
That's him?
And the younger version of Dawson is that Australian actor. I don't know his name.
Luke Bracey?
Luke Bracey. He's in that movie Holiday.
Oh. Interesting.
And then the older version of Amanda is, I want to say
Michelle Monaghan.
Michelle Monaghan, yeah.
Monaghan. Okay. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Oh, Pixels. I mean, that's an animated movie. I don't think I've ever seen her face before.
She's in a movie with Chris Evans. And then... Yeah, I don't know what else she's done. I've seen her in a bunch of things, but I don't remember on the top of my head.
I don't know any of these.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
And most of this, like 2 or 3 songs in this movie are from Lady A, the band. Oh my God. The songs, Shreya, the songs are so good. When I watched this yesterday to prepare for this episode, I was listening to the soundtrack and it took me back to Bangalore when I was obsessed with this movie and the soundtrack, and I was just cooking and singing around to the songs. I was like, oh, I want to go to North Carolina.
Oh yeah, that's where Nicholas Sparks like movies live, right?
Yeah,
Live
his
and
books are
breathe.
in North Carolina. That's why I'm obsessed with living in North Carolina.
Yeah,
I love it.
it'll happen. That's where the romance is.
That's exactly.
Okay.
It's always summer and yeah.
Yes. So they were only dating for like summer. That's it.
A year, yeah.
Oh, okay. So not just summer, a year.
Oh, I mean, their senior year, so.
Oh, okay.
A year, yeah.
Okay.
They started dating summer of 92.
Okay. I thought they only dated in summer,
Oh,
like
no,
for
no,
3 months.
No.
They started dating.
They started dating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Let's end this.
Okay.
If this episode piqued your interest and you want more details, then watch the movie. See you in the next episode.